How you going, guys? I'm Lee from Loyal Artist Murder.
I'm Sean, and you're listening to metalstorm.net.
Now you guys got voted on to Summer Slaughter. Were you surprised on how close the vote count was?
Yeah, it was, for a couple of weeks it was us and Rings of Saturn neck and neck, and they were beating us, and then I think for most of the time we were just under them, and it was getting close, and it was, 31%, 30% back and forth, and then it shut, and the Rings beat us by I think a percent. So we were thinking, we're not going to be able to do the tour, and then we got an email saying we had to do it anyway. So we didn't win, but we still kind of won, I guess.
So how has the tour been going so far? First time in the touring in the United States.
Yeah.
Good, bad difference. What's your impression?
Response was a lot better than we expected, definitely. Just because we had no idea what to expect. This is an untapped market for us, so we didn't know whether it was going to be one person from each state headbanging or a couple of people, but the majority of the shows have been pretty good. Responses have been pretty great. Kids have been going crazy, so pretty happy with that.
I saw that today too. I mean, there were kids in the pit that sang every lyric.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that people know the material overseas. Well, for a while we've had, I think, a bit of an internet presence, but we didn't know how much of that might have transferred over into real life, and we were just waiting for a while to get a decent offer to tour the States and do it kind of right. So it kind of was better that we held out for a little bit longer, and now we released an album with an actual label in the States, so the timing was good. It's been great.
Now, how would you compare the scene at home, Europe, and the United States as far as your genre of music?
Back home is pretty good. There's definitely a lot of bands coming up in the Australian scene, like Boris Blade, Aversion's Crowd.
In Australia, it's a little bit different. There's not as many bands, so there's a few bands that are heavy, like us, more extreme. But we will play shows with bands that aren't quite as extreme, and there's less bands, so the mixed bills are a bit more accepted by the crowds. Whereas in Europe, if we were probably to play with some of the bands that we play with back home, people would be like, "What's going on?" But Europe's always awesome.
It is definitely a little bit more violent.
Violent?
Oh, the pits and stuff are pretty full on over here. I mean, it's not a bad thing,
But definitely, a little bit more aggressive the crowd is than back home in Europe.
Now the Euro festivals you guys played earlier a couple months ago, I mean, huge crowds, and I mean, I know bands, I mean, they feed off their fans.
Yeah.
Does that put you in a different state of mind if there is like, whatever, 10,000 people compared to a club show?
It's a little bit more intimidating, to be honest, because there's definitely a couple more thousand people there than we usually play to. But for me, I don't know, personally, I'm stuck behind the drum kit. I can't really
You don't care either way?
I can headbang here and there and sip a beer between songs, but it's better.
I think the difference is playing those big festivals, like there'd only be a few people that would actually know us there, but just the way that the European festivals work, it's kind of like a showcase, I guess.
The atmosphere is cool.
And people would just come watch the band regardless of whether they know you or not, so it's a good opportunity to play to people that have never heard you before, and playing to a crowd that size is really ridiculous for us.
Now, new album, Hate, came out last October or September or wherever you live. It came out around there. Quite different than The Adversary. My take is you guys slowed it down a little bit, but made it that way more heavier, more...
Yeah, it's definitely a lot more structured than The Adversary.
Yes.
Definitely not as intense, but I think it's just a little bit more structured. Can't tell, mate. Just like a bit more of a mature sound.
Yeah, it's a bit more groove orientated, I like to think. Simpler structures and pieces.
Did you guys go with a mindset like that into the writing? Hey, we wanna...
I felt like with the previous material, there's a lot of stuff, a lot of sections jammed into one song, whereas this time around we kind of tried to pick, less riffs like quality
Make 'em
over
count.
quantity kind of thing, and make more of a song rather than a fucking chaotic 4-minute death metal thing.
Gates of Misery, I definitely hear Decapitated on that song.
Yeah.
Is that one of your influences, or what is mainly your influence for your music?
They're a big influence for that style of riffing, the groovy, choppy riffs.
Bit of Behemoth.
Behemoth is another band of ours like that we love. Just like Gates, Despise Icon. We like mosh bands. We like hardcore bands. We like black metal. We like death metal. What we do is just, I guess, you know, it's all jammed in together, and what comes out is what we have done.
So how would you describe, because I mean, on Metal Storm we call you technical deathcore.
Yeah.
So how would you describe your genre?
I wouldn't say it's that technical. It's definitely deathcore.
Pretty much just metal with breakdowns.
Yeah, just death metalcore.
Studio, you guys recorded in the States?
Yep.
First time, or did you do that for the Adversary as well?
And the Adversary we tracked ourselves back home with one of our old bass players.
We were a bit low on money, so we had to do an album, so we just thought, might as well just record it ourselves and see how it goes. And
It up well for what it was.
yeah, it was cool. But this time around,
Studio in the United States, good experience?
yeah, it was awesome.
Right, it was at the machine shop in New Jersey, in Putney. It was just a good opportunity to actually sit down with a producer and, you know, have someone there telling you that, no, this riff's shit, or, you know, this drum part's shit, or these lyrics are shit.
It's the first time that we had a chance to live in the studio and, you know, kind of be surrounded by it all the time. And whereas last time, you know, we were still working our jobs, going in the afternoon to work on it slowly. So it was good to get 100% involved in the album. And I think it's better for it doing it like that, definitely.
What's next for you guys after this tour?
We have a little bit of downtime in LA, where we just hang out, we're waiting around to go to China for a couple of shows, and then we go back home to do an Australian tour with Parkway Drive, and then we'll have about 6 weeks off, go home and everyone can see their girlfriends or whatever, and then we go back over here for the tour through November and December.
Cool. Last words to your fans?
Thanks a lot for the support, and hang in there. I guess there'll be new music coming soon. We're working on it, and we'll see you in November, December.
Cool. Thanks.
Thank you.